Now let's go into the deep story. I lived with my aunt and her husband, and they had 2 children, 2 guys, that of teenage age, and I was the youngest. Now I want you to understand that we lived on the 7th floor of a 3-story building. My aunt and her husband had a busy life. So anytime they would be on their work trip, their children would bring in other guys. Now there was this particular guy they were fond of. This particular night, when we were done watching movies, they instructed that I bring in the mattress because they wanted to sleep in the parlor after the midnight show. And I should go to my room. Now I stayed in the guest room, and my bed frame was close to the window. Now this is where things got awkward for the first time living with them. During the early morning hours, I got up to ease myself. Coming out of the bathroom, that was when something caught my attention, and I looked towards the window and I saw a woman looking back at me. The more I looked at this woman, the more her smile became bigger and horrific. Now, remember I said we lived on the 7th flat, which was the last story of that building. Now, there was no way that woman would be floating on thin air. And immediately, the Africa in me kicked in and I screamed for help. Everyone ran into my room at that moment. I tried explaining what I had just seen. They convinced me that it was my imagination and nothing was there. At the end of the day, at the end of that period or time, they agreed that I would sleep with them. The following morning around 6, I got up to the guy who visited us staring at the window, staring into nothing, into something I could not see. I got too uncomfortable. I had to wake up my cousins, and that was when they tapped him. What he said was, "Let's call her Carol. Carol, what did you see? Carol, did you see her? Carol, she was staring at us. Carol, she was watching us all through. Carol, who did you see?" That was what he kept mumbling. I tried calming him down while my other cousins were confused. That was the last day he ever visited us. Now we all agreed that no one would hear about it, because anyone hearing about it would have to expose the parts that normally letting people into the house whenever their parents were not around. So we died down the event of that day.